guys, welcome back to Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. So it is Friday, March 26th, and it's a beautiful day today. It's about 72 degrees. It's getting later in the evening. The wind was really blowing hard today, so I waited till later this evening to do this video. As you can see, the trees are blooming. This is a wild plum tree here, and man, this tree puts off just some awesome aroma, a sweet smell, and I can smell it clear across the property, you know, 500-600 feet away. And the red buds are blooming out now. They're not quite in full bloom, but they're not far. So when the red buds are blooming, that means your nectar flow is kicking it in, at least here in central Oklahoma. You saw all the tulips and daffodils are blooming, so everything's really pretty. This is one of my favorite times of the year. So what we're going to do today, it's been a week to the day that we did our combine on hive number 2. So what we did there is we had a hive that the queen was failing. She was laying nothing but drones, so she was done. So we took her out and she went into the swarm lure jar, and because she was done. So we took her hive and put it on to number 2 and combined them. Number 2 is a weak hive also, but the queen was laying good eggs that were making worker bees, but her brood pattern was real tiny and they didn't have a lot of population. So initial inspections on number 2, I put a frame of honey and 2 brood frames in there to give her a boost and get that hive going, and try and equalize it a little bit so it could catch up. And so we added this other hive on top that had those laying workers in there, and we need to get in there and check on them and see if that queen is still laying and doing okay. And let's just get in there and see how it's going. Okay, here's our entrance. Not a whole lot of activity, but there's a few bees coming and going. And we'd like to see it look more like that, but it's just not doing all that well right now. See the newspaper still on there from our newspaper combine. Most of that paper should be gone. Okay, let's get in here and see what we can find. Get this smoke downwind from me. That's odd. I see some dead bees laying up here. So we got some dead bees up here, which is kind of odd, but when I think about it, I had my inner cover pushed forward and that notch was in the back, so the bees couldn't get out. And when I put this inner cover on, it was right on top of that pollen patty, so the bees couldn't go down and they were trapped up there. I think that's what's going on right here. So hopefully that's not a sign of what's to come here. Yeah, we got a decent amount of bees right in here, and they're coming out on me when I'm moving, so I'm gonna give them a little puff of smoke just to chill them out. See, I got in a hurry when I put this together, if you remember that video, and I wanted to get this pollen patty in there. So I should have moved that patty over to the side so those bees in the top could have got back down. So they're working on that pretty good. There's a few small hive beetle larvae in there, not very many. So ideally what we want to see is find our queen in here and see that she's laid a bunch of her own eggs, and see some larvae. That's just an empty frame. I was watching some Instagram videos the other day of some people building putting together some frames, and they're putting them together, and they were putting 2 nails in the top, and they had them all put together, and one thing they didn't do was put any glue on the joints. So when you put frames together, if you build them yourself, you always want to put glue on each of the 4 corners and do your staples or nails or whatever you're going to fasten them with. The reason is when you pull these frames out of the hive, you're putting a lot of force up here and down here. If there's propolis holding this frame down from the bottom, it takes a lot of force to get these out. And I mentioned it to them on their video and said, hey, you might want to put some wood glue on those next time. They said, no, it's okay. We don't shake our bees off, we use a brush. And I was like, okay. So yeah, put glue on your frames. They'll last a lot longer and they won't come apart on you. So we got capped honey here and pollen on the outside of that. So that's a good resource frame right there. If you're going to make a split, that would be a good frame to add to give that split honey and pollen, bee bread. This has got a little bit of honey there. Same here with pollen in the middle. Same here. So I'm waiting to get to that. There we go. There's that drone brood left over from the prior queen. So this queen is blue in here. So we need to be keeping our eye out for our blue queen. Some of these don't even look like they're developing. Looks to me like they're just kind of letting them go. There you can see what I'm talking about. It looks to me like they may not even be letting them finish off. Either way, they're drones and they're not going to do us much good. Looks like they're not even healthy drones. So I'm looking down in here and I'm seeing the newspaper now started to look like it's chewed out pretty good. So the bees are able to move from the top to the bottom. So they have combined. Here's some more of that drone brood. So drone larvae take more time than a worker bee. I think it's 24 days versus 21. Here's one of these drones freshly emerged right here. Hey, big boy. So yeah, there's a lot of that on here as well. So our queen was in the bottom. So for her to be up in the top, I think, you know, just after 1 week, probably not going to be up here. Again, there's a little bit more of that old drone brood there. So the bees are hanging out up here protecting this comb, which is a good thing. Some of these are probably a few nurse bees left from the hive that we brought over, staying up there with that brood. A little bit of nectar in here. I think that was there when I brought it over. And this top box was really heavy, by the way. So there's a lot of honey. Yeah, here's almost a full honey frame. It's full on the other side, and this is all full of nectar here, which is probably sugar water that I've been feeding. So this is all capped honey. Okay, that next frame's capped honey. I'm not going to go any farther. I'm going to get this box off the top. Let's go and see the condition of our queen. We need to make sure she's okay and laying. When you set a hive body on top of another hive and you don't use a stand, use your lid and flip it over. That way you don't have hardly any surface touching and you don't get that sticky propolis all over your lid, and you don't squash many bees because you're not putting it down on a flat surface. Okay, so you can see how they've chewed through the paper. Some of it I tore up, but they had a pretty good passage cut through the middle there. Looks like they're on the back side too. So let's check out this patty and see what it looks like. Yeah, they got a lot more of it ate. There's a few hive beetles in there. There's a few larvae hiding up in there where they can hide from the bees. Okay. It's a lot warmer today. These frames are coming out a lot easier. Okay, there's just a little bit of honey, empty. A little bit of honey and empty. Mostly empty, little honey there at the top. And so here is mostly pollen and a little bit of nectar on the outside. So we should be getting into the brood here on the next frame. Yeah, so here's the donor frame of brood. So this is all capped right in here, and they're starting to emerge out of the middle. I don't see the queen. I see some shiny white in here, and I want to see if that's new brood. Some fresh laid eggs and larvae. Where's my light? Okay, what I'm seeing right in this area here is royal jelly in the bottoms of these cells. So that queen has laid in here, right in this area right here. So our queen is laying. Yeah, we've got larvae all over here as well. She must be on this next frame because I have not spotted her. Well, this is a nectar frame, so she likely won't be here. Just looking at these last few random frames that have just miscellaneous honey and pollen, kind of a hodgepodge from reducing this hive before, and looking for that queen, which for her to be out here is unlikely. When you combine a hive that's not right with one that is, sometimes they will supersede that queen. So that's why I really want to find her, because I want to know if I'm going to be dealing with a queenless hive now. Odds of her being out here slim to none. Okay, let's go back through, check these 3 frames again real close. I'm just gonna get back over there. So this frame here's got a lot of uncapped larvae right in here. So if I think I have my timing right, that has to be from the number 2 queen. That's not from a donor frame. That donor frame was put in 3 weeks ago, I believe. So all of those, if they weren't capped, should be well capped by now. So she has been in here laying. Ah, there she is. Man, how did I miss her before? So there she is, nice and healthy, running around looking for cells to lay in. Well, that's a relief. Nothing worse than going through a hive like this that you're concerned about not finding the queen. So we found her. We know she's good. So I can use my smoke now that we found her. Not worry about running her around. And I'm going to put both of these pollen patties down here now. So now we'll go ahead and put this notch up towards the front. Some people run them in the back. I always put mine in the front. And I'm gonna slide my telescoping cover towards the front so that notch is open now so bee can come and go out of there if they want to go in and out of the top. Okay, so what did we learn here in number 2 hive? So the combine is successful. The queen has not been superseded. The queen looks to be laying and backfilling and also beside the pattern from the donor brood frames that came from, I think it was number 6 is the hive that the donor frames came from. The honey frame came from this hive right here, but the 2 brood frames came from number 6 over there. So she's doing well. She's a small queen, but she seems to be doing okay. We really need her to kick it in and get this thing filled up with brood. So they're going to miss out on the main nectar flow. They don't have the population to do what they need to do. I will not put a honey super on this. That's just way too much real estate for them to protect. They need to fill this hive up with honey and resources and get ready and build up and go into the fall ready for winter. So that's all we can do with this hive here. It's not going to make honey. But next year will be their year, but that queen will be 2 years old then, so we'll see. But anyway, that's the end of the video. Give me a thumbs up if you would, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I appreciate y'all watching, and y'all take care.